Tammin,
Yes.
I'm so excited that you're here with us today.
I'm so excited to be here.
One of the things I was really keen to talk to you about was you were actually in Hannah, Montana.
Yes, I was.
Just 4 more hours until I can get out of this bikini, change into some comfy sweats, and come over to see you.
Or if you're running late, you could just come over in the bikini.
So what was that experience like?
It was such an amazing experience because I was doing Pretty Little Liars at the same time, and then they cast me on Hannah, Montana, and I didn't think I'd be able to do it because it was literally 2 different schedules. So I would shoot Hannah, Montana in the morning and Pretty Little Liars in the afternoon, and then on Fridays I'd have to have off because it was live to studio audience, which was the best part about the whole experience because I've never done anything like live studio audience. My heart would race right before we started shooting, and it was just amazing. Miley was so great. Like, looking back, it was just pretty awesome to be part of something that has such a legacy. You almost only get one shot at being on a show that is like a lightning in a bottle situation.
Yeah.
But Pretty Little Liars was that for me, and so was Hannah, Montana, and so was Home and Away.
Look, I'm sorry, okay?
Forget about it. It's fine.
You're angry?
I am not angry.
Yes, you are, I can tell.
I know you've been very open about how Hollywood isn't always sunshine and rainbows, and there are obviously you don't always get the audition and stuff like that. People have a certain perception.
I think, you know, Lena Dunham just talked about it in her new autobiography, that artists every month are like, okay, this is the month that I'm gonna have no money. To be able to make money doing art is so rare. There's less than 1% that works just doing their art. So you always are constantly thinking that this is gonna be my last thing. I mean, there was a period of my life, even with my kids when they were younger, where it was really tough. And it's just ebbs and flows because in our business, it's all or nothing. So you can get paid a lot and then not see anything for 3 years. And I don't think people see that in this business because they think it's just a constant flow of creative projects and opportunities, and you're hot for a second and then you're not.
I just got word I didn't get an acting job, that I was down to the wire for the lead on a TV show. This happens a lot. The amount of times it's been like me and another girl. It's just harder than you think.
You and your husband have a production company, but indie producing can be a bit of a bloodbath. Was there a time you were shooting a project where you thought like, okay, we have to do something here to make sure this keeps going because we're on the brink of shutting down?
Okay, so the last project we did, which has got a lot of big names in it, you know, James Franco, Cara Delevingne, Macy Gray, Kate Beckinsale, Neil Hirsch. It was a huge project, being 10 years in the making.
Wow.
But it was like, I think it almost killed my husband. It's so hard because, you know, indie filmmaking is not with a production. So like you're the person who's like bringing in the financing, and if anything goes wrong, it's on your head. No one sees that. They see the finished product and they see like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that thing. But it's not as fun as it looks.
Yeah.
But it's worth it in the end because you get to tell stories and you get to create something from nothing. And that's what I think is really cool about making movies or being an artist in some ways. There was nothing there before, and then you actually bring something to life.
And you mentioned before that when your kids were younger, it was very tough. Do you mean financially, like trying to work and also be a mom?
Yeah, all of it. It was financial, it was figuring out what it's like to be a mom and an artist and a woman, and you know, I'm such a go-getter, and then when you have kids, you kind of have to take a step back. And the first time I became a mom at 29, and I still was like really trying to be a career woman, and I didn't know how I was gonna be able to do both and do both well. But now I'm like, I realize that you can have everything you want, you just can't have it at the same time. Like right now, I'm working for the next 3 weeks. I'm gonna miss my kids' graduation from 6th grade, but then I'm gonna be able to, because of these 3 weeks, take her to Europe and be with her, and then be there for the start of 7th grade.
How do you think you would react if your daughters came to you and said, Mom, I want to be an actress, I want to be in the spotlight?
My youngest does, she's 7. My eldest is, oh my gosh, my eldest is 12 turning 13. But she is obsessed with sport, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But sport is still in the spotlight. I think everything should be fun until you turn 18.
Right.
I think just what we put on like, don't drink before you're 18, I think it should be the same thing. Don't be in the spotlight before you're 18. I don't think my parents had a choice. I would have made it happen with or without them. Like I was so clear-minded, that's what I wanted to do.
The other thing you've been very open about is how the industry kind of was a bit brutal to you and other women about the way you guys look, and it's very like pick you apart?
So I was an overweight kid. I don't know if you know my story, but I was like 100 kilos pretty much, or close to that. And then I got a lot of bullying and teasing when I was, 13, 14 years old, lost the weight healthily. And then I got on home and away. And then I was so afraid to lose that quote unquote perceived success that I just stopped eating. So I stopped eating, and then I had bulimia and I had all those things. When I was on TV, they really celebrated thinness, and they really celebrated like that stick figure look. So I never got told anything negative about my weight, but what I should have probably been told is that I look too thin. And maybe not in those exact words, but I should have been told, I should have been asked if I was okay. And I would have lied, and I would have said yes. But at least, of course, like my family was asking if I was okay, but I'm just saying in the bigger picture of like getting cast, I think people should have asked. All that whole era, it wasn't healthy.
No.
And I think there's come back to a resurgence of that, but I'm also a big believer in, I think if we stop talking about women's bodies, in general, ever, I think that there's not gonna be this obsession about our size, because no one's talking about it.
Look, if you're trying to make me jealous, it's not gonna work.
Go away, Will.
Well, that's what you're trying to do, isn't it?
Why do you care who I talk to anyway? Broken up, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
If you could go back in time and tell your 15-year-old self something, what would you tell her?
You always land on your feet.
That's nice.
And it's crazy because I don't know how sometimes.
I know. Honestly, I think everybody can relate to that.
I'm just like, wait, I go through this again? I've always landed on my feet. And to enjoy the ride, because now I'm just doing things that I find joyful. And if it's not joyful, I say no.